Welcome back, everyone, to the Chicago Cubs franchise. We're here officially in the offseason. If you guys missed the last episode, we got knocked out of the postseason after losing the series against the New York Mets. They went on to face off against the LA Dodgers in the NLCS and end up losing. But my Detroit Tigers took care of business and beat up on those LA Dodgers by winning the World Series. So go figure that, but I'm happy about it. So as we're moving through the offseason, we're taking a look at some of the retirees. We got a couple names: Alex Faedo, Nelson Cruz, Max Scherzer, guy that we took deep a couple times in the playoffs. That was kind of fun. But yeah, it's pretty much an end of an era here across Major League Baseball. To see these guys retire, it's kind of bittersweet a little bit. You know, Max Scherzer, my Tigers. Fortunately, we could not win a World Series with him. Nelson Cruz had to destroy us a couple times in the playoffs against the Rangers. You know, it's, man, really makes you think how fast it goes. But Max Scherzer will be a 2023 inductee for the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to him. A couple of our exclusive free agents up on the board: Kyle Hendricks, Ian Happ. Coaching staff remains intact for next season. And regarding Ian Happ, the guy has posted 3 seasons in a row of hitting 20-plus home runs, and we have a team option to exercise, and we're going to do that. But what to do about Kyle Hendricks? He's entering his age 35, almost. I would assume he's going to be 35 here next season. Age 35 season, he went 10-14. He's gone negative the last few seasons. I understand that the Cubs roster is not as good as it used to be when Hendricks was pitching much better, but he didn't actually post that bad of a resume. Despite the wins and loss record, he actually did not do too poorly. But we're actually going to reward him, and we're going to offer him quite a big contract here, over $8 million per season, a 2-year deal. Archie Bradley, by the way, is not going to come back. He's declining his contract option. We do have an opportunity to negotiate with him, however. He's probably going to be asking for more money. And I wasn't impressed with the playoff performance, so we're just going to let him walk. We've got some decent relievers back there to kind of replace him. But now it's time for... Yep, arbitration time, boys. I know in the last offseason people were making fun of me because I did some goofy things with arbitration, but no more. We're going to do it right this time. But taking a look at the free agent list here, it's pretty loaded. We've got high 80s to mid 90s up there. It's going to be a loaded class. We got Tyler Mahle here, who I'm probably going to be interested in. Blake Snell, another left-handed arm slot for us, another left-hander. I think that's probably where we need to go. We need to probably add another veteran pitcher to this mix, especially now that Kyle Hendricks is kind of losing some mojo a little bit. And there's, of course, Mitch Haniger. Do we consider bringing in Mitch Haniger so it doesn't kill us anymore? But there's what your starting pitching looks like currently. We've got Alzolay getting a nice increase, and overall he's up to an 80 now. We got Stroman at an 84. As we're moving on to some players that I was impressed with, Franmil Reyes. He's in an arbitration season still. I think, you know, you could kick the can down the road a little bit here, but, you know, I kind of want to offer him a long-term deal. You know, he really performed well, and I just don't want to send a wrong message to him, like, well, we're just kind of lowball you and cheapen you as a player here by just offering you arbitration. So I know it's probably the smart thing to do. It's probably the optimal thing to do. Is he's in an arbitration year, give him that. But let's just settle it. Let's get him here for the long term and keep him around for quite a while. So hopefully he accepts that contract. A couple guys we're offering arbitration to would be Eliezer Hernandez, Cody Hoyer. Darwinzon Hernandez is actually looking for a lot of money. So, I mean, I'm not totally sold on Hernandez yet. I think he's pitched pretty good in some tough spots for us. I think it was still a good trade for us with the Red Sox. He's been good. I'm not going to, you know, cheapen him too much. I think he's been fine, but let's offer him arbitration. He is in an arbitration year still, so let's just go that route. Now, Reed Stein is an interesting case because he is also in renewable stages, and, you know, maybe he signs for 1 season at like less than the minimum. You know what I mean? Like a cheap contract that he would re-sign. It would be a renewable contract at that point, but maybe I did that incorrectly, but we're going to run with it. So 3 years for Reed Stein. We're going to lock him up. Now, Wilson Contreras is an interesting case here, too, because he's starting to lose some overall points. And I knew that going in. maybe eventually he's going to have to be kind of a DH guy. We're going to have to let Chris Addison or Patrick Bailey, Nick Fortes, some catching. Maybe we need to focus on that eventually. But I think that's why we really wanted to go after Chris Addison. Now, custom prospect here, Timothy Pierce, guy that we drafted in last season's draft. 75A potential. He's the up-and-coming guy at first base. However, I don't think he's quite ready yet. First base might be a position of need for us. We've talked about Frank Schwindel, how he's one of those guys that we believe in, but there's things that he lacks, So there's going to be some hard decisions to make here about Frank Schwindel. Do we keep him around, or do we give way to someone else? But Patrick Wisdom would be a guy that I'm also looking at kind of, in a way, replacing just a little bit. His vision is not good. He's purely a home run hitter. That's really all he's going to do. He does play good defense. Chris Morel's kind of on the up and up. Shortstop, we're good there with Nico Horner. I'm not worried about that. Ian Happ, our outfield. Yeah, Happ's probably the oldest guy in that outfield, but, Brenneth Davis has seen a lot of movement, some good progression there. Seiya Suzuki, Reyes, no spring chickens there, but you got Velasquez, Zavala. We got some good young outfielders, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong I'm talking about. So I'm not worried about outfield. I don't think that that's a position of need for us. I think after scrolling through what we're looking at here on our roster, I think closing pitcher is probably a focus. So we're going to go after Liam Hendricks and offer him 5.8 for a one-year contract. So about $500K more than our crosstown rival, the Chicago White Sox. Catcher, I'm not too impressed with anything there, but take a look at first base. I told you guys, first base is an issue for us with Frank Schwindel. He hits righty, so why not go bring in Anthony Rizzo and get a little platoon job going on here? Now, Rizzo would probably be my starter going forward. When I say platoon, I don't mean a natural platoon like 50-50 here. I think Rizzo would be the guy. And we're in a position with this team where we just won the NL Central. I think it's time to go all in at this point and really supplement a lot of our vets with a lot of our young guys that we can be confident in and giving them increased roles. So third base, I mentioned Patrick Wisdom's a guy that we're looking to replace. Is J-Ram the guy? Might be a little too expensive. Devers, is he the guy? Matt Chapman, is he the guy? He's asking for a 5-year deal at 14.4, but he's pretty productive. 30 years old. You could get him kind of in his prime at this point, hitting no more than 20 home runs every season in the last 3 years. But Devers has done the same thing. Not as many strikeouts, better batting average. You could go a little bit cheaper too. Gio Urshela, 32 years old, hit 30 bombs in the past 2 seasons. But take a look at what we got going on here. Chapman wants 5 years at 14.4. Devers wants 5 at 12.8. And we are meeting all of his interests. He's a star role. Coaching staff is top tier. He's got one compatriot. I think Devers makes the most sense. So we're going to go out and we're going to go after Rafael Devers, offering a 6-year contract, almost doubling what the Boston Red Sox are offering him at $49 million. Now for pitching, we got to focus on maybe another veteran arm. I'm looking at Jacob DeGrom, and I see just disaster at this point with Jacob DeGrom. He's an 81. He's starting to get up there in age right there. Getting a little worrisome with 30-plus-year-old pitchers. Now Shohei Ohtani, do we go out? Do we do this? Do we go out and go after the best player in baseball? We can't afford it. That's the problem. We can only do the $35 million max contract, and even trying to match the Angels, he's not liking our coaching staff, right? The expectation is top tier, but he doesn't think we're top tier. We offer him 11 years, and the interest is just not quite there. Not enough to surpass the Angels. So we're going to back out of the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes. I would have thought pairing them up, him and Seiya Suzuki, would have been kind of cool in this franchise, but I think Devers is a really good fit. So we really shore up on the corners with Rizzo and Devers, and then we focus on some pitching with Liam Hendricks. But take a look at what happens here. The New York Mets, pretty much now becoming our National League rival, not in division, but just in general, National League rival here. We'll always keep the St. Louis Cardinals. But they signed Shohei for 10 years. That's a long time. It's a long, long time. So Rizzo and Ohtani were the only two big names really to come off the board in free agency at this point. Up until Devers, J-Ram, and Josh Hader all signed in the National League. There we go. So we are cleaning up in the offseason, guys. We made a big splash. So the Padres get J-Ram, we get Devers, the Yankees get Max Kepler. This is just kind of a quick look here. The Yankees also get Rhys Hoskins. Now, as we move forward here in a couple weeks past, we've got another situation now where we need to focus on some pitching. Remember, I was talking about getting another left-hander in the rotation. We're looking at Carlos Rodon. What's he gonna ask for? He's currently interested in that Giants offer, $97 million for 5 years. But we've also got Blake Snell, who's a left-handed pitcher, 31 years old. I've always liked Blake Snell, even in his Tampa Bay days. I've liked Blake Snell. He's been solid. Up until recently, though, you got a 4.2 ERA, 3.95, and then I think I said 4.8 for the Padres there. So, you know, he's asking for about 14.4, I think is what we offer him, 14.8. But through 3 years, he likes that contract, and we're going to offer that to him. Angels go back to Archie Bradley. The Mets get Tucker Barnhart and a couple of notable signings there. But we also ended up getting Liam Hendricks. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but Liam Hendricks is a Chicago Cub now, so we are cleaning up in free agency. We continue to do so. But we got a situation on our hands now where we have to figure out the 40-man roster. And what's up and coming is the Rule 5 draft. And we've got so many young players, I don't want to lose them to other teams that are going to snipe them away from us. So we're actually going to remove Hanser Alberto from the 40-mans. We're going to put him on waivers. But that gets us to 40. We were at 41 at that point. Now we're at 40. So now it's a tough call here, because you gotta protect Cole Winn. That's really what the objective here is at this point. We don't want to lose Cole Winn. And we're going to add him to the 40-man after moving on from Bryce Ball. And by doing this, signing Blake Snell, now we got the same situation where we've got another 41-man roster. So now we got to make a decision on who else we're going to move down and move off the 40-man roster again. And now we're moving on from Ryan Jensen. So two guys that I don't want to lose, but we're going to lose them anyway. We're going to lose 25-year-old Bryce Ball. He goes to LA, and KC is going to get Ryan Jensen. So two guys that I know that, you know, I'm kind of high on, but something had to happen, and we had to make some moves. We could have moved on from others, maybe guys with less potential, but I don't know, man. It sucks. It really sucks. But we did acquire some good pieces like Devers, Hendricks, like Snell. Like I think we did well for ourselves. All right, moving on. We've got the Rule 5 draft. You guys saw some of the big name free agents signing elsewhere. And in that Rule 5, I guess there was nothing really to worry about. Maybe we did a good job. Nobody took our guys that were actually available. Now, the Angels, after kind of moving on from the amount of salary that Shohei Ohtani was asking for, they've done pretty well for themselves here throughout free agency, and they also are going to get Jack Flaherty. Harrison Bader will be the last person to sign in free agency. Got a couple trades here, the A's and the Phillies. Carter Billiker was drafted by the Phillies. He's a custom prospect from the Twitch series, the Bradley Braves series over on my Twitch channel. He is going to be traded from the Phillies to the Oakland Athletics. A couple other free agency signings here. Nothing really standing out too much, but something to note. Some of your custom players, your actual guys, not players from the Twitch series, but some of your custom guys got moved on from. They actually weren't brought back. They weren't signed. Guys like Wes Williams King. He was with the Tampa Bay Rays, ends up going to the Cincinnati Reds, I believe. It's a little bit further down here, I think. But maybe he doesn't show up again. Maybe we already saw that. Either way, man, just something to note. We'll take a look at the top 50 prospects just to kind of give you an idea of where their new homes are. But our arbitration hearings are happening here, and we're losing. We're losing big time again. So MLB The Show 22, I think back in 21 and previous games, normally they would side with the organization. It's pretty player friendly here in 22, I'm noticing, but We do sign everybody through arbitration. We save some money, and I think it was successful still. We're not spending a ton of money on bringing these guys back. All right, so guys, we're officially in spring training. Free agency is done. The offseason has been completed. And just take a quick look here at some players that I want to focus on here. Do you guys remember this? Kyler Murray was drafted. Do you guys remember that? So just basically wanted to show you your custom players and guys that are coming over from the Twitch series are created, and they're officially in this franchise file. We're ready to go for next season. Here's your top 50 prospect look. We've got guys like Drew Kuiper, Touche, Wes Williams-King, Belmont, Addison, Connor Roberts, Donato, Van Hecken, Rosario, Prince. A lot of these dudes are created players. You can probably tell who they all are, because if you've never heard of their name, that's who they are. Emerson Hancock is real, by the way. Tristan Casas, real. Francisco Alvarez, real. Asa Lacy, real. You guys get the idea here. But top 50 list, we got a lot of Cubbies on that list, man. So we are doing well for ourselves here. Now, for those of you guys that played in the playoff bracket challenge, this is your winner, and he will be deciding on what player is going to get those 20 attribute bonuses, and attribute point bonuses, I should say. So here's your list there, Devon. Take a look, or Devon or Devin, make sure you correct me here, but here's your list of players. Let me know what you think you want to do, and just focus on the circle. I know there's some stat categories that just aren't available, but again, his role at this point, he's got 20 points to spend, and you can use those 20 points on any one single player. So for example, if I decided to choose Frank Schwindel, you can only use 5 points on one category. You can use 1 point on the category, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the max per one category. So you can't literally just have like 70 contact and then bump that attribute up 20 points. It's just not realistic, and we're not gonna run it that way. So if there's any player here up on the list that you think needs a progression or like an update, an upgrade, you pick who that player is gonna be, and you get to basically help us out in that sense. So kind of the way that this is working is this player had private workouts, did a lot of work there in the offseason, in the winter. He's ready for spring training. He's lifted a lot of weights, he's ready to go. I think that's just a fun way to get you guys involved in the series and kind of progress our players along. It doesn't have to be, you're not limited to a real player. You could do it through a custom guy. You could do it with any of our minor leaguers here in the system. You can pick anybody, everybody and anybody is up on the board here for you. So, guys, that's it for the video. Leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you guys next Tuesday for the next episode. We'll cover some spring training statistics, probably get into opening day, and hopefully I get his upgrade submissions here in the next couple days right before I start getting gameplay, because that'll really help get that player to probably try to earn a spot if he's looking forward to getting a custom prospect upgraded or any of our minor leaguers upgraded. It'd be kind of fun to see who he decides. And if you want to lobby there in the comment section who you think he needs to upgrade, you let him know in the comment section. But congratulations again to Devin or Devon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Leave a like if you like this thing, and let me know what you thought about the offseason. Was it a success? What other moves would you have considered making to help our Cubbies push towards a World Series? So guys, we'll see you in the next one. As always, thanks so much for watching, and peace.